Hey, hello, welcome everyone, welcome listeners, welcome to Healthy Waves, the live group podcast where we dive deep into the depths of wellness, mindset, and the personal growth with the experts from all walks of life. So, whether you are here to explore the latest in mental health, discover the new approaches to living a fulfilled life, or simply curious about what the experts have to say, you are in the right place. So, join me. I'm Avik, your host, as we navigate the waves of the knowledge, challenge conventional thinking, and also uncover the secrets to a healthier and happier you. So let's ride the waves of the wisdom together. So before we start our conversation, because today we'll be talking about a great topic, which is about mind over medication. So exploring the hypnotherapy, mental health for the rebels, and rekindling lost motivation. So, but before we do that, I'll quickly love to introduce you to our beautiful guests. I'll introduce first to Roman Fisher. So we are excited to have Roman with us on Healthy Waves today. So Roman has transformed the physical and the mental health of over 50 individuals and is on a mission to help even more people achieve their fitness goals. So whether it's building the muscle, burning the fat, or simply gaining more flexibility, Roman's expertise in the fitness and the nutrition is unmatched. So his personal journey is fueled by the desire to prevent the health issues that claimed the lives of his loved ones, which has led him to become a beacon of health and the wellness. So, Roman, it's an honor to have you here today. Welcome to the show.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here.
Lovely, lovely. And dear listeners, we'll also introduce you to our another guest, Joe Barnes. So we are thrilled to have Joe on Healthy Waves, as Joe is the Amazon best-selling author of The Rebel Code and Escape the System, the two groundbreaking books that empower readers to break free from conventional ways of living and find the authentic happiness and the success. So, with years of experience as a hypnotherapist and the coach, Joe has dedicated his life to helping others escape the limitations of traditional paths and pursue their passions. So, his journey from dropping out of university to becoming a thought leader in the personal development is truly, truly inspiring. So, welcome to the show again, Joe.
Thanks for having me, Arvik.
Lovely, lovely. So to start with, I mean, I'll come to Joe first. Joe, your books, The Rebel Code and Escape the System, encourage breaking away from conventional paths. So, what was the pivotal moment in your life that led you to adopt this mindset?
I think it began when I was 18 years old in my first term at first semester at university. After 2 months, I decided that I was fed up with academic study. But what really got me was this whole concept of constantly chasing. I'd spent 14 years or so at school studying, being told you have to work hard to get good exam results because you want to get into university. Now I was at university, I was being told the same thing. Oh, you've got to study hard to get a good degree so that you can get a good job. The thing was, I wasn't particularly enjoying it, and I was starting to question that whole system and starting to question if I was ever going to get to live my life, if I was always going to be working towards something. So I kind of figured out that I could leave university, I could get a good degree, I could get a so-called good job, which paid lots of money, but then I'd be chasing promotion and the next promotion after that and the one after that. And eventually I'd be chasing my retirement. So I just got sick of this whole concept of chasing, even at that young age. I got fed up with it and thought there must be another way, because this can't be life. I can't possibly spend my entire life chasing a goalpost which is constantly being moved once you get there. So that led me to question everything, and then it took me a while to sort of exit out of that way of living to find a comfortable way of living, which I'm doing now.
Wow, that's really lovely. And so, Rowan, I'll come to you. Your journey into the fitness and nutrition began at a very young age. So, what advice would you give to someone who is actually struggling with to find that motivation to start their fitness journey?
Yeah, my best piece of advice for anyone that wants to start their fitness journey and they're new to it is to take it in small strides and small steps. So don't ever overindulge into trying to get into fitness and trying to just work out 5 6 days a week like some people like to do. If you want to do that, that's fine by all means. But if you're just starting out, don't ever overwhelm yourself and try
Mhm.
to just overwhelm yourself with working out too much too often. So I would say if you've never worked out, especially before, start with even 2 3 days a week. And you can literally just work out at home, doing home workouts, calisthenics, no weights required. So really just taking it in small steps and starting small instead of just going all in, instead of just going all in and doing too much at once and overwhelming yourself. Take it in small strides and small steps. 100%.
Understood. That's a great advice, I would say. Yeah. And also, so I'll come to Joe again. Like, how did your experience as a hypnotherapist shape your views on the mental health, especially for those who uh, identify as rebels against the system?
Right, okay, so, well, my work as a hypnotherapist told me that a lot can be done for your mental health without medication. That is something I've learned. There's a great healing power within you. I think most cases of mental health are psychological. So why would you, the very first thing you do, why would it be something physical, taking medication? I'm not completely against medication. I think it has its place, but you shouldn't just jump straight to that. There's a whole area you can explore and help yourself without going on medication and potentially risking dangerous side effects and suffering with withdrawal symptoms as well. Now, answering your question, how does it relate to rebels? Well, basically, just quick backstory. In my book, I suggest that there are three different types of people on the planet. You're either a leader, a follower, and a rebel. And rebels are by far in the minority. And I make the point that because a rebel is a slight outsider, they don't easily fit to how society works. You've got to be particularly careful about your mental health. And I offer an antidote if you're struggling with depression, particularly, perhaps anxiety as well. For anybody who does feel like a little bit of a rebel, a bit of an outsider, feels misunderstood, I suggest that you should base your life around meet three different needs that every rebel needs to meet. It's a need for freedom, a need for meaning, and a need for connection. Now, connection is just a human need. We all need that in our lives. But freedom and meaning are particularly important to rebels because we find it difficult to fit into a world which is overwhelmingly superficial and materialistic. So you need to dig down deep and find what you believe is your purpose here in life. And freedom is another thing that a rebel is particularly desires to have. They want to set their own working agenda. They want to be in charge of their time. So if you can create a life like that, then you should be able to mitigate against many of the mental health struggles that can occur too often for too many people.
Understood. Understood. So, Roman, I'll come to you. Like, you have mentioned the impact of your grandfather's health issues on your decision to help the others. So, how do you address the emotional aspects of the health transformation in your coaching?
Yeah, I would say for the emotional aspect of everything that it is purely emotional based and mental based. Just like he was saying, you have to really understand the
Mhm.
importance, the impact that the mind has on the body. Because if your mind is not in the
Yeah.
right place, if your mind is not set right, if your mindset is not set right, then you're not going to achieve whatever fitness goal that might be, even the smallest, simplest of fitness goals. You have to set your mindset right. So that's really my take
Yeah.
on that. just knowing the importance and the value of your mindset and how that plays a huge pivotal role and impact into your fitness journey.
Lovely. And great. So Joe, I'll again come to you. Uh, in your coaching practice, what are some of the common limiting beliefs that prevent people from pursuing their authentic paths, and how do you help them to overcome that?
So sorry, I lost a bit of that question, Arvik. The connection went. So you said, what are the common
Oh,
limiting beliefs? Could you repeat that?
yeah. So in your coaching practice, what are some of the common limiting beliefs that uh, prevent people from pursuing their authentic paths?
A lot of people, a couple of common themes I come across. One is I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of anything. That holds a lot of people back. That contains them. I had a client wouldn't have, who didn't like to be in photos at all. So didn't like to be in photos
Oh,
with her family, and she wanted some photographs with her daughter, but she had this limiting belief that she wasn't any good, that she wasn't, there was no value. So on the surface, it appears that somebody has a dislike of photographs, but if you actually dig deeper, it's because they don't value themselves. They don't see themselves of worthy of something, that they struggle to actually see themselves in a picture. Something else that I come across a lot, a limiting belief I come across a lot, is the our minds tend to lie to us all the time. Our mind is always having a constant stream and feed of negative thoughts, and these can be put in our heads from childhood. So from authority figures in our childhood, whether that's a parent, an elder sibling, kids at school, teachers. And the problem is, when we're young, we're very impressionable, and we end up accepting these negative suggestions, and they can end up dictating our lives. Now, what people struggle with when they're an adult, because they've spent decades believing these negative beliefs, when I come along and suggest to them, look, that's actually a lie, it's not the truth, it's just a suggestion that got put in your mind, they can find it very difficult to then disassociate from that belief, look at it for what it is, and say, yeah, actually, you're right. It's not the truth. It is a lie. It's just something I got told and I believed because I was young. But actually, when now I analyze it with the eyes and brain of an adult, I can see that it's not true. But people struggle with that because they're so attached to their negative beliefs and the negative suggestions they receive when they're younger. They really struggle to detach from those thoughts and just realize and understand they're only thoughts and not necessarily the truth. So that's something I come across quite a lot. And in fact, that one thing in particular, believing the lies that we're told when we're younger, is probably the
mhm.
main hurdle I come across with clients with all types of different issues.
Understood. And also, so Roman, I'll come to you. How do you approach the clients who might be resistant to change, or maybe have lost the motivation to maintain their goals? So how do you approach?
Yeah, you kind of cut out a little bit too at the very, very end. Were you saying about how do you help them keep the motivation to keep going?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So
Okay.
there could be clients, or yeah, there could be clients or people who have actually lost their motivation, how to maintain their health goals. So how do you guide them or approach?
Yeah, my best piece of advice and my best tips for that when I have a client in that situation is to have them really just understand what caused that lack of motivation. So first get to the root cause of that problem. And so when they can finally do that, it's a lot easier to overcome that issue and that obstacle.
Okay.
And then from there, after I have them do that, I have them just take in deep breaths, inhale, exhale, the basics, and just really just unwind, reset their mind. I also encourage them to get out into nature, reset their mind in that way. So literally just take a break from everything and just get out into nature, see different things. If they have an ocean nearby, great. If they don't, just find some, forest or maybe some type of woods around them where they can just go out and let go, let loose, let go, and calm and relax their mind, just drift off even to an extent. And then to come back and then come back stronger. And if that doesn't fully do it for them, and that usually does, I believe me, that usually does. But if that doesn't fully do it for them, then my next piece of advice is to maybe scale back the workouts a little bit and just make it a little bit, more manageable, more accessible, and a lot less overwhelming. Because sometimes there's things in their lives where it makes it a lot harder for them to stick to a goal that they, maybe 3 months ago were able to do. But certain things come up and it makes it a lot more challenging to stick to. So honestly scaling back the intensity at times can actually be very, very helpful. So that's another, bit of approach I use.
And
Okay.
can I say something on that? It's so
Please,
true
please.
what Roman says about nature. I was living in the city and then I moved out into, well, it's actually near some woods, living near some woods. And my quality of life improved very, very quickly. I think we lose connection with that. We're humans, we're animals. We should be surrounded by nature, but we're in this alien environment so often, which is a city. So be amazed to find just how much better how much more peace of mind you get by being in natural surroundings, hearing birds singing, seeing the sea, whatever it might be, really gives you a boost.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Exactly. It happens. I mean, connecting with the nature and being with the nature is definitely something which we are losing day by day. But if we follow and try to keep that touch within us, that definitely boosts our mind, our body, our soul, definitely. So thanks for sharing this. And uh, also, Joe, like escape the system is about finding the freedom and the authenticity. So how do you guide someone who has uh, lost motivation and also feels trapped in their current circumstances? So what do you say?
How do I guide someone who's lost their motivation and feels trapped in their current circumstances? I always feel you've got to find some way to connect with your inspiration. Now, everybody's different, so there are different approaches to this. One way might be journaling, write down about the thoughts in your mind, write down about your memories, about what's inspired you in the past. Me personally, and a way I get my motivation back is movies, watching inspiring films. That usually
Okay.
breaks through all the monotony and noise of day-to-day life and connects something inside me, connects with this bigger vision, this idea of adventure. Listening to music can pretty much do the same thing as well. That anything that can break through just the day-to-day monotony and grind, I would highly advise disconnecting from the news cycle, 24-hour news cycle. Nothing good is really going to come from watching that a lot. Disconnecting from social media as well, getting back into the things that have always inspired you. Exercise, and you've got Roman on here who's a trainer. He will obviously know that. I know that because I go to the gym as well, but I also play tennis a lot. Exercise is a great way to beat all that lethargy and lack of motivation and connect with the things that really inspire you in life. So any one of those things should help.
Got it. And also, like this is for Roman. Like many people use the fitness as a way to manage their mental health. So what connections have you seen between the physical health and mental well-being in your work?
Yes, there's a tremendous connect, honestly, between the two. So I've noticed when clients of mine are in a good headspace and a good mental state, they are just a lot more likely to complete the workouts that they got for the week, get all their meals in, and honestly, just crush everything for the week, even outside of their fitness regimen. So I've noticed there is a huge correlation and a huge connect between the two. And just on the contrary, when they're not, when they're not in a good headspace, they're a lot more likely to skip workouts, skip meals, maybe have all the meals on their plan, but add other meals that were not on the plan. And maybe, just maybe, get into a huge, huge depression. Honestly, that's one of the toughest things to be in, too. Knowing from personal experience, I know all too well how that can be and how that can hinder people from making advancements, from making progress in fitness and outside fitness. So there is a huge correlation to that. The mind and the body, man, they couldn't actually be more connected, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'll again come to Joe. Like, how does the self awareness play uh, in your approach to the mental health and the personal development?
How does the self-awareness, could you repeat that? Sorry, Avik. How does the self-awareness, I lost you there.
Yeah, how does the self awareness actually act in your approach to the mental health and the personal development?
What role does it have, the
Yeah,
self-awareness?
yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess it's everything, because you've got to be, if you're not aware of yourself, of your drives, of
hmm,
your motivation, then you can find out that you buy into society's definition of success, which tends to just be purely realistic. To be successful, I have to have lots of money, I have to have certain status symbols, I have to have a wife, I have to have kids, etc. And of course, with having any of those things. But if that is not, if you're doing them in a way that doesn't connect with who you truly are, so you're just finding a job, any job you can get that makes you the most money because you think that's the way to be successful, or you could actually end up being very unfulfilled. Likewise, if you were to choose a partner just because you thought, I need to have a husband or a wife, just because otherwise, what are people going to think of me if I'm on my own? Again, that could be a way. On the surface, you appear to have a complete life, but underneath it, you don't feel so good because you weren't aware of how you actually feel. You allowed society to dictate to you what you should be going after. So you have to take a step back from all the voices telling you what life is about. And when I say voices, I mean friends, co-workers, media, religious leaders, parents. You've got to disconnect from all of that and start to hear your own voice. And that voice will tell you, what path is good for you, tell you what inspires you, what you like. And as long as you listen to that, then you won't end up in this situation where you spend your whole life climbing up a certain ladder, and then, as the saying goes, find out that that ladder is resting up against the wrong house.
understood, understood. Yeah. So, Roman, like, in your experience, what are the biggest mental hurdles people face when they are trying to change their uh, unhealthy habits? If you can share.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the biggest hurdles that, a lot of the clients that I've had that have really dealt with are honestly thinking that if they don't lose weight by like the next week, that they're not going to make progress. Like if they don't lose X amount of pounds in a week or 2 weeks, then they're not going to get to their goal weight. Or thinking, honestly, that how they look right now is how they're always going to look. Sometimes people get stuck in that mindset where they have such limiting beliefs where they just don't believe they can
Yeah.
ever change. improve, or transform their physique or bodies. So that's another huge limiting belief that I've come across that can actually make or break someone's fitness journey. But that's something that I've addressed with a lot of my
Oh,
clients. But it takes time. It takes time. It's part of the process, and nothing's overnight. You know, I always like to say too, to really counteract this limiting belief that my clients sometimes get, is really having them know and reminding them that this is progress over perfection. Like, yeah, you do want the results, but it takes time to get there. It is about the destination eventually, but it's more so about the journey to get to that, ultimate overall destination. So
mm,
having them remember that and be reminded of that, that is very, very paramount into their, overall success and long-term success and results.
lovely, lovely. That's really great. Yeah. Uh, Joe, I'll come to you. Like, could you share a success story from your success club where someone significantly transformed their life by following their principles, by following your principles, basically? Yeah.
Okay, I can think of a lady who joined in 2020, because I used to run this Success Club in person in London. We'd
Okay.
have meetings every month, and then the lockdowns and the pandemic or put an end to that. So it all moved online. This lady joined around 2020, and now she joined. I can't remember. She had an interest in yoga, and now she's become a yoga teacher. She's qualified. She's even running retreats, taking people to Bali to do retreats. So that's very exciting to see. Now, it's not all down to Success Club and me, of course not, but she's attended regularly, and the whole club is set up for entrepreneurs, artists, and creators to succeed in their particular endeavors. So for someone to come along and do that and have that transformation, it's very rewarding.
Okay.
So yeah, she's one of a few successes that we've had over the years. You still there, Arvik?
Yeah, yeah, I'm there. I'm there. Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, I thought you'd lost me.
yeah. Yeah, so you're saying you mentioned about the last time you had this club where it's a combination of all the creators and everyone. So that but after that I just lost a bit. Yeah,
Oh, my voice cut out.
yeah,
You didn't hear my story then about the woman
yeah.
who
I,
used
I I heard it. The last.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. No. That I was just giving you her example
Oh,
of that. Yeah. No, I was putting it back to you, ready to ask Roman his question.
okay. Got it. So thanks for sharing this. And so Roman, for you also, like you have helped like 50 people, right? 50 people transform
Yeah.
their lives and want to continue more. So if you can share a particular memorable transformation story that demonstrates that the power of integrating the physical and the mental health which comes together.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, honestly, one of my recent clients that I've been working with for the
Hmm.
past several months, he
Okay.
actually had neuropathy. That I'm trying to pronounce that the best way I can, kind of a tongue
Yeah,
twister. But you get
yeah.
the idea. Basically, intense pain in their feet and toes, but essentially he had a lot of foot pain and he
Okay.
literally could not do a push-up hardly. And so that unmotivated him. So it affected him physically, of course, but it also affected his mindset and his mental state. And it made him
Yes.
feel that he could not work out the way he wanted to and therefore would not get the results to the extent that he would want, to get them. So with my coaching, with my help, and with my assistance, I actually helped him relieve that pain on his feet and honestly, tenfold just change his mindset and his thinking because he used to struggle, and I mean struggle, with self confidence, and just really his overall body self image. He used to just never be satisfied with how his body looked. So, with my help, I was able to really help him feel better about his body and actually literally feel better about his body with his feet not having that condition anymore that he would suffer from. And so he has occasional pain, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very minimal. Like he can do push ups, he can stand up, he can walk around. And honestly, another life changing moment, not just with his mindset, but with his blood work. He used to have
Oh,
such horrible, results that he would tell me about. But then after he started working with me, his blood work was amazing. Like literally the levels in his body of each
mm,
thing was as good as it was when he was in his 20s. And that's what his doctor showed him. So that was another life-changing thing for me to know that I was able to help him just transform his inner self, inner body, not just through his blood work, not just with his pain and reduce and relieve his pain on his body, but also with his mindset and just how he felt about himself, his self image, his self confidence, and honestly, just his overall purpose and well being. Like me being that catalyst, and me being that change for him was honestly life changing for him, but also for me. But yeah, that was a huge mindset testimonial, and then some for sure.
lovely. That's great. That's great. Lovely. So for both of you, like, what one piece of advice you would give to someone who is listening right now and feels stuck? So whether it's in the career, health, personal life, and is struggling to find the motivation to move forward.
Yeah, I would say for me, honestly, just remember that pain is temporary. Yes, it can really be difficult. Yes, pain can honestly suck, but it's temporary. It is temporary and it's part of the process. But but growth is permanent. So what doesn't kill you, I know it's cliche, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this pain is
So
temporary. But the growth and the wisdom that you're going to get out of these bad days is going to even out the bad days because you're going to learn from your bad days, and then from there you're going to consistently and constantly improve and just get better, and then
yeah,
eventually you'll be unstoppable. So just know that you got to stay in this for the long haul. You got to stay in this for the long haul.
okay. So what do you say, Ju?
Yeah, I think Roman's advice is great. I'd add to that when I felt stuck, when I feel the most stuck, I've noticed that it usually means if I can just keep going and I can stay focused and keep maintaining the habits which usually work, then a breakthrough is around the corner. So I would say to people, when you get stuck, start to change your mindset and think, actually, this could be quite an exciting time, because I've known almost without fail that when I feel the most stuck, when I feel like I'm moving through treacle, everything's so slow and nothing's working out for me, that if I just keep going, then something quite significant is going to change and happen. So learn to treat being stuck with a little bit of anticipation, maybe a bit of excitement, because good things could be around the corner.
Okay, okay, great. Lovely. So thank you so much, Joe and Roman, for sharing your incredible insights and the experiences with all of us today. And it's definitely been an enlightening conversation on how we can take control of our mental and the physical health, break free from the norms, and rediscover our motivation. That's really great. So, for the listeners, I would love to mention, like, we hope that this episode of Healthy Waves has inspired all of you to take the action in your own life. And uh, always remember that the power to change is within, always within us. So within you, definitely. So until next time, keep riding those healthy waves and have a great day and take care of yourself. So thank you so much.